Greetings, my friends and listeners, to a special Christmas special show, 2024 of Classic Radio Mysteries and Adventures. I am your host, Jordan Avon. Today's show will be actually a three-story show with three classic science fiction stories from the Classic Radio science fiction program from the 1950s called Dimension X. The first one will be Competition, dated 1950. The second one is entitled The Veldt, 1951. And the final story for our program will be The Dwellers in Silence, 1951. Let's begin.
Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown, Dimension X? The ridge stars spread 200 light years across space. To the passengers on the immigration spaceship from Earth, they appear to be pinpoints of light in the darkness. The men, women, and children slept in their bunks in the tiered dormitories, or sat reading the immigration folders that describe the worlds of the ridge stars in glowing, rosy terms. Anne Travis stood before the vision port and searched for the spot of light which would be her new home.
You can't tell which is which, can you? Well, I asked the steward for mine. There it is, you see? That nice, bright little star up in the left-hand corner. Oh, that one? Yes, Alpha 3. I'm going to meet my son there. He sent for me. Harry always was a good son. I used to say to my husband just before he died, Harry is a good son. I'm going to Dory 3. My sister's there. Oh, isn't that nice? It's a wonderful thing for a young girl like you to start life way out here. I used to tell Harry's father that if he had any spunk, he'd be out on the ridge stars making a fortune. He was assistant buyer at Bloomingdale's kitchenware. I think maybe if I asked the purser, he could point out Dory 3. Oh, well, you go ahead, dear. You've paid your fare like everybody else. What did you say your name was? Anne Travis. Well, I'm Lottie Elders, Mrs. Harold E. Elders, though, of course, I don't use Harold's name now. Are you all alone? Yes, my folks died last year. That's why I'm coming out to live with my sister. Oh, why, you poor child, traveling halfway across space with nobody to talk to.
Attention.
Quiet. There it is. I just know it.
You are now within the Ridge Star Quadrant. The trip is almost over. Captain Braxton wishes me to inform you that a vote will shortly be taken to determine on which planet of which sun every passenger of this ship will be landing.
What is he talking
The
about?
majority will decide, and all must abide by the decision.
I don't understand. What did he say about a vote? I don't believe it. He said everybody had to go to the same planet, didn't he? But Harry's on Alpha 3. Look here, Mrs. Elders, they can't get away with this. They can't just set us down anywhere. I've got to meet my sister, but what can we do? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to see the captain right now.
Landing manifest 12436. Cargo holds 1 through 12 at premium rate, including...
I want to see the captain.
Oh, look, I'm busy now.
What kind of an outrage is this? I'm going to join my sister on Dory 3. That's where I bought my ticket for, and that's where I'm going. Vote or no vote.
That's what you think, baby. I'll call you back, Johnny.
I want to see the captain immediately. Do you hear?
No, sure, right here. Perfect, in both ears.
What's the meaning of this? What are you people trying to get away with?
We're not trying, sister. You're in space now, kid. We don't go by Earthside red tape.
But my ticket...
Oh, you can paste that in the scrapbook. That's all it's worth. Where you're going, kid, fortunes are made and lost every day. The rich stars are wide open, and what the big operators say goes.
But my sister's waiting for me.
Oh, she'll get tired. It's a game, kid, and you'll win.
The folder said you were encouraging immigration.
Oh, sure. But all the improvements in Earthside working conditions in the past 50 years were to prevent wholesale immigration to the rich. That's why we have to cut the price of the tickets below cost to suck fewer immigrants out here.
Why did you lie? Why won't you take us where we want to go?
It's simple, kid. The only way to make a profit is to dump each shipload in one place. This cargo goes to Delphi, too.
But the announcer said there was going to be a vote.
Oh, sure. But we've got it rigged so Delphi, too, gets it. Simple, isn't it?
But You can't.
Oh, it's not so bad, Delphi. It's okay. We're bombing. Great work. Especially for a kid like you.
How would I get to my sister? She's expecting me on Dory 3. Can I take another ship?
Not where you're going.
What do you mean?
Look, baby. Space travel is an Earthside monopoly. They own the patents on the rocket power that makes space travel possible. Now, the rich government offered a prize for a new kind of power that wouldn't infringe on Earth's rocket patents. But until that drive is developed, you just won't get off. No, I do.
You can't travel to another planet?
That's right. There isn't any public transport, and only a millionaire could afford a private jet.
You mean I'm just stuck?
Mm-hmm. Like a fly on flypaper. Hey, where you going?
Back to my bunk. I want to lie down.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid you can't leave here till that boat is taken.
Why not?
Well, I'm a kindly type friendly fella. I always give a straight story to anybody, but that means I've got to keep them under wraps. So, you'll stay right here till we land on Delphi 2.
Mrs. Elders, what shall we do? I'm sure I don't know. Harry, he's my son, you know. He'll be just a friend. I know.
Attention! Any immigrants not cleared or in the proper line in 10 minutes will be indefinitely detained.
Oh, dear, I haven't been cleared yet. Oh, you'd better go then. I'll wait for you right here. Oh, be sure you do, dear. I'm so frightened. Oh, which way do I go? Oh, the E sign is over there, see? Oh, I don't have my distance glasses. You will wait for me, dear? Yes, right here. Go along now.
All right, you. Come on.
Who are you?
Never mind. Come on. Grab her, Al. Come on.
Let go of me. What's the idea? Let go.
Get her.
Who are you? Let go. Let go.
We can't take any chances, Al. Put her out.
Right.
Come on. Up.
What happened?
Come on. Sit up.
What? Who are you? Your face.
That's a motor-driven face dissolver mask.
I've read about them. I've never seen one. Who are you?
That's why I'm wearing a mask. Because I don't want you to know.
But there must be...
Look, lady, quit babbling. I hauled you in because you're pretty and intelligent looking.
But why?
You're going to make 1,000 stellars for yourself, whether you like it or not. Now stop looking like a scared rabbit.
You can't do this. I'll call the police.
The police? What do you know about the Red Star government?
Nothing.
Obviously. Around here, things are different. Now, listen. You go to the New Sol Hotel. As soon as you're registered, you go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. They'll take care of you. Now, take this. It's a tape reel. Play it back in your room. It'll tell you what to do. After it's played once, it'll destroy itself. Is that clear?
I don't understand this at all.
Have you ever heard of the 7-day poison?
I don't think so.
Well, it's an interesting device. It feeds on the blood. On the 7th day, undergoes a chemical change, and... very easy to use. You just inject it like this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all over. For 7 days. The beauty of this poison is it can be made to look like a lock pattern in many thousands of small variations. The only antidote must be some of the original poison at its base. And I have that. Now, don't get hysterical. I'll keep the antidote here. You can get it after you've done what I want.
But I don't know where I am. I don't know who you are. What if something happens to you?
That's your problem. But remember, the police can't help you. I have the antidote to the poison. All right, I'm through with her. Take her out and drop her at the hotel.
Yes?
And Travis?
Yes? Who's this?
Play that tape reel and get started. We'll be watching you.
Hello?
Salt Desk. Can I help you?
I was cut off. Someone was speaking to me.
I'm sorry, there was no incoming call on your line. Can I help you?
No, never mind. Better play that tape. Guess you push this button.
You will find in your purse a full cigarette case. Half of the cigarettes are doped. Tomorrow, you will be hired as private secretary to Arthur Blord. When you're alone with him, you will give him one of the cigarettes. The case ejects 2 at a time. The outer one is doped. When he's unconscious, push the brown knob on the case. That will call my men, and they will come for you. You must come with them if you wish the antidote to the poison. After that, you'll be transported to any Ridge Star you wish. As soon as you play this reel, go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. There's no time to waste. Tomorrow, the 7-day poison will have only 6 days to go. Now that the reel is finished, it will destroy itself.
Why do they have to pick me? Oh, the reel. Come on, Travis. You've got 7 days.
Come in, Miss Travis. Well, everything seems in order. I must verify one thing.
Yes, Mr. Robertson?
You did arrive just yesterday on that immigrant ship from Earth.
Oh, yes, sir.
And this is your first job, not only on Delphi, but on any planet other than Earth.
Yes, sir, that's right.
We'll check that, of course. In the meantime, we can go up to see Mr. Blord. You'll be his private secretary. This way, please.
Did you say...
Did I say what?
Never mind. Nothing.
Have you heard of Arthur Blord before?
Not exactly.
You would if you'd been in the Ridge Stars longer. Amazing man. Amazing. We'll wait here for the elevator.
He must be very important.
Important? There are names out here that they've never heard of back on Earth. The greatest name is Arthur Blord.
Really?
In less than 10 years, he's made himself an astronomical fortune. Astronomical. Here we are. After you. Penthouse.
What's he like?
You'll see. Very dynamic. Sharp. He outsmarts the big shots, the planetary operators. They exploit whole worlds. He exploits them. They hate him, the Ridge Star operators. Well, here we are. Come along, Miss Travis. Mr. Blord is waiting for you. Mr. Blord, this is Ann Travis, her record and references.
Not interested. You check them. Margerson, get out.
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Ready, Miss Travis?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Take this dictation. Chromium field on Transition 4, value 100 billion stellars. Just plain slugging. Let somebody else do it. Tragona 7, Forest, all treasure wood, priceless. Dennis Carey, operator, hard, cruel, brilliant. Should be interesting. All right, Miss Travis. You're new to Delphi, too, aren't you?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
I like new cities, new planets. They're soulless. They have no culture, no institutions with hardening of the arteries.
Yes, sir.
Now, I came out here as a wiper in an Earthside liner and jumped ship at Transition 4. That was 10 years ago. You couldn't do that on an old world. Earthside, they developed the science. Out here, we use it. The great developments today aren't in science. You don't believe that, do you?
I'm not sure, sir. Will there be any more dictation, Mr. Blord?
Nope, that's all. Don't leave yet. Mind if I smoke?
No.
Like a cigarette?
Sir?
I asked if you'd like a cigarette.
Oh, thank you, but I have my own.
Oh? Earth cigarettes? Would you mind letting me have one? They're very rare out here.
Of course.
That's an interesting case. Ejects 2 at a time, huh?
Here, Mr. Blord, take one.
Yes, thank you. Haven't smoked one of these in years. Light, Miss Travis?
Thank you.
Drop the lighter under the desk. I'll get it. Sit back in your chair. Should be down here.
Miss Travis. Miss Travis.
Hello, Dr. Gregg. Lord. I've got a girl here I want you to examine. No, she's out cold. Nope. Had her sitting in that wired chair, and I just threw the switch. There's something phony about her from the beginning. The pickup needle from her chair was jumping like a kangaroo, and when I mentioned cigarettes, it practically blew a fuse. That's what I want to find out. Why she should be carrying dope cigarettes. I want her examined. The full hypnotism treatment if necessary. I want to find out who sent her. I want to know who's gunning for me.
Lord. That's the best I can do, short of a full-length narco analysis.
You sure about that 7-day poison?
Absolutely. She's got less than 6 days.
And she was right off the immigrant ship. This is the first time I've had a plant. Somebody found out I hire them fresh from Earth.
I've got her memory track on that face-dissolver mask. It was Delaney.
I thought so. But he isn't working alone. It's that gang working for the prize on the new space drive. I got into the competition 2 weeks ago, and I guess they're afraid of losing the money they've put into research.
What about this kid? She's got 6 days to live, and I wouldn't take any bets that they try to save her if she doesn't deliver the goods.
They wouldn't even save her if she did. Delaney wouldn't want witnesses. Doc, set everything up the way it was before she went under.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to let them take me.
Wait a minute. They're liable.
I know what they're liable to do, Doc. You take care of the girl and leave the rest to me.
Okay. It's your funeral.
Maybe. Now, let's revive Miss Travis. You set up the projectors. Come on, up to it.
All set now. When you reverse the field, she'll come to, and she won't even know anything happened. You remember exactly what you were doing when you knocked her out?
Sure. I was looking for the lighter under the table for that doped cigarette of hers.
Well, I'll be going. Good luck, Artua. You'll need it.
I'll be seeing you, Doc. All right, Miss Travis. Now let's take up where we left off.
Oh, I felt faint for a minute. Did you find the lighter, Mr. Bloor?
Yes. Thank you. I haven't had a good drag on an Earth cigarette in years. It's... stronger than
I've got to call those men now. Let's see the brown knob on the case. I didn't want to hurt him, but what can I do? What can I do?
How's Blord, Al?
I'd like a light. This dame sure fixed him.
Where are we going?
What do you care?
Tell her. In 6 days, it won't matter.
The boss give orders.
What's the difference? These two are dead ducks.
What do you mean?
You think the boss will give you that antidote?
He promised.
Al, he promised.
Did he really?
But did he give his scouts honor?
You know, spit twice and cross his
Please,
heart.
stop it. What will happen to him?
Blord? Oh, you got me. Last 3 guys I brought over here ended up in the disposal unit.
You mean they'll kill him?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no, they couldn't.
They don't play for marbles out here in the rich stars.
But the police.
That's just like Earthside, sister. Police take their cut and arrest a couple of bindle stiffs every night to make it look good.
Lord was playing around with some pretty big men. He knew what he was getting into.
Oh, I didn't think they'd kill him. I don't know anything about the Ridge Stars.
Oh, that's tough, lady. Real tough.
There's the beam. We're here.
All right, fasten your straps. I'm taking her down.
Where are we going?
You're on Delphi 1.
What is this place?
A private estate. Very private. How you coming with Blord, Al?
He's happy.
All right, we stop here. I gotta spring the voice lock. Combination 1, 3, alibi, Peter, uranium.
Repeat.
These things
things never work. 1-3 alibi, Peter, uranium. All right, drag him in now. Where do you want him, boss?
Clamp him in the chair.
Give me a hand, will you?
Yeah.
All right. Get his feet straight. Now throw the clamps.
Inject the key stimulant.
Right, boss. Tear off his sleeve, Al. All set, boss.
Do we have to keep on the masks? I got a cold. No, I think we can do without them. Shut off the power.
There we are. He's coming to.
Delaney. What am I doing here?
I think we can get down to business, Blord. We represent 90 companies. We've entered the Ridge government contest to develop a space drive that won't infringe on Earthside patents.
No? Well, Delaney, I've got news for you. Unless one of you has a power drive that's 25% faster than an Earthside rocket, you're licked. What do you mean?
You must know, Delaney, you said... Quiet. Can't you see you're trying to get us arguing?
When I heard some of the low speed you boys were using...
Shut up.
All right. You have the floor, Delaney.
2 weeks ago, you entered the contest. We know your reputation. You can't afford a failure.
Your whole financial structure is a bluff.
We know you have the drive. Lord, you better save time. Tell us now. What does your space drive run on?
Twisted rubber band.
You'll force us to extremes, Blord. All right, take that girl out of here.
No, let go of me. You can't kill him. I didn't know you tricked me into getting him.
Get her out.
Come on, sister.
Let go.
Oh, all right. So you want to play rough?
Okay, that's 23 you owe me. Your deal. Cut. I trust your deal.
Oh.
Oh, she's coming too, huh? That's nice. Deal from the top.
Did they kill him?
Who knows? You want the top card?
No, neither do I.
Thank you. Just the card I wanted.
Pleasure, I'm sure.
Look, you've got to tell me. Are they going to kill Mr. Blord?
Look, lady. A, you are interrupting a very important card game. B, you're better off if they do kill Blord.
Let's face it, kiddo. You crimped him good.
Crimped him?
You think he's going to like you for doping him and getting him into this mess? Blord's a tough guy. When he first come out to the ridge, he killed 3 men in a mining camp over on Transition when they double-crossed him.
Sure, if he ever gets out of this, I wouldn't bet a lead slug on your life. I'll go with 10.
Please.
Tough luck, Sonny. I got 3. And doubled for spades.
Uh,
Yep, if Blord gets loose, I wouldn't want to be in your place.
But I didn't understand. They tricked me.
I don't think Blord will sympathize. Deal the cards, will you? Hold it. Blord, you're a crawling rat.
I'm a realist, Delaney.
He's alive.
You got me, so I'll make a deal. Now look, we form a joint stock company. Each of you signs over his patent rights to the new firm, and we split the shares.
You hear that?
You get my space drive. I get 25%. Delaney runs the new company. The whole deal to be publicized if you wish.
Blord, when this gets out, it'll ruin you. They'll despise you when they find out how much dirt you've eaten.
Well, I didn't have much choice, did I? All right. Now the other part of the deal. You got me here through a certain young lady.
Now, we can dispose of her.
No, I think I'd like to do that. I'll take her as part of my 25%. Any objections, Delaney?
No, just be careful. Get rid of her clean. We don't want any mess left around for the Ridge government to find.
What are you going to do with me? You promised
Did I? Get rid of her, Blord. Only make it clean.
You can loosen your strap now. We're on automatic.
Where are we going?
Back to Delphi 2.
I didn't understand what they were going to do.
I know.
I didn't realize.
I'm sure you didn't. Miss Travis,
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pay you off.
Let go of my arm. Let go. Let go of me.
Shut up. What are you screaming about? Now hold still. It won't take a second. Just one small injection.
No. Let me go, please.
There. Scratched my face like a cat.
Will it take long
What?
for me to die?
For you to...
Stop it, please. Please, stop it.
But it's funny. It's very funny. That was the antidote.
The antidote?
The 7-day poison Delaney gave you. I got it from him before we left. Young lady, I knocked you out in my office and had your mind examined. I knew just what you had done. I came here because I wanted to.
Oh. You mean you're not angry with me?
Certainly not. Besides, everything turned out my way.
Your way? But they forced you to give them the drive. You signed away the right.
I'm a percentage man. Let them do the operating. Besides, it was their drive in the first place.
Their drive?
Yes, it's simple. I knew that after the contest there'd be a merger of research, so I merged it before instead. Wait till they discover they signed away their own patent right. I don't think they'll feel like laughing then.
But to give Delaney control of the new company.
But don't you see, I had to get him to go along. He had the antidote to your poison.
What about me now?
Look at the vision port. Now turn up the scale. That's the ridge. You can have your pick. Name your world, and I'll take you there. You said your sister was on Doridor 3.
Yes, but...
But what?
I wonder if the opportunities for advancement are greater on your planet, Mr. Brewer.
You know, Miss Travis, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they were.
How would you like to live in a world no larger than a single gigantic rocket ship? You'll find out more about it next week on...
Today, Dimension X is transcribed competition, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy from a story by E.M. Hull. Featured in the cast were Elaine Ross as Anne and Les Tremaine as Arthur Blord. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Burt Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
And now, on to our next story.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. Dimension The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. The soundproofed Happy Life home had cost $30,000 installed. It clothed and fed and rocked them to sleep and played and sang and was good to them. Their life purred on from day to day, measured and controlled by the nucleonic thermostats, the iridium sponge servo brains that made the beds and washed down the bathroom floors and made sure the salt cellars flowed freely without clogging. Twice a day, the house paused, rang a quiet bell, and turned precisely 90 degrees on its axis, in order that the view from the Solaroid living room windows might be varied to avoid ennui. Of course, the pride of the house was the nursery. The agent for the company had been most enthusiastic.
This way, right down the hall.
All right.
What was that?
Oh, it's all automatic. The nursery turns itself on when you come within 10 feet of it. Soft automaticity. That's the motto of the company. All right, now, this is the nursery. 40 feet by 40 feet and 30 feet high. Separate power unit with automatic overload circuit breakers, inspected and approved by the underwriter's laboratory. The nursery is educational, instructive, entertaining, and therapeutic. The entire control mechanism is adjusted to the electroencephalographic key of the child.
How much does it cost?
30,000 FOB, Los Angeles.
But that's as much as the whole house.
Why, no. But we do want the best for our children, don't we?
Oh, yes, we want the best for our children.
And it was the best. The crystalline walls wavered from 2 to 3 dimensions. The pseudo-textured composition flooring shifted lightly from brick to dirt to waving grass. And the odorophonics wafted the scent of fantasy through the hermetically conditioned and filtered air. The nursery was the very best. But then they wanted the very best for the children. The technicians installed the nursery, and the heavy coaxial power cable was run in from the main line. The walls sprang to life, and the mental control banks and relays hummed.
All right, Peter and Wendy, this is your nursery.
What's so special about a nursery, Dad?
Plenty. You just go in and see.
Oh, do we have to? It's so big. You promised you'd play ball with me outside, Pop.
Go on, kids. Try out the nursery. It's better than any old yard.
Oh.
Go on in, dear. You'll be surprised.
Gee.
Go ahead, Wendy.
I'm scared. I'm not. Hey, it's nice in here. It is? Come on in, Wendy. Boy, look at the pictures on those walls. They're real.
Well, almost real.
You can change them any way you like just by thinking about it.
Go on in, dear.
Well, all right, Mommy. Hey, Wendy, look what I can do with the pictures. Oh, that's the white mountain from Alice in Wonderland. Sure. I just thought about it, and there it was. Well, let me try, Peter. Let me try. Go ahead. Just think. How about the... Oh, I know. I want to see the Wizard of Oz.
Well, dear, there we are.
They like it, don't they?
Well, why shouldn't they? All they have to do is think, and they've got whatever they want in 3 dimensions. Color, sound, and smell. Oh, think what it would have been like to have a nursery like that when you were a kid.
It's nice that we can give them all the advantages.
Why, sure. What else are we working for, huh?
That's right.
Well, what do you want to do this evening?
Well, the Petersons asked us over for bridge, but...
Oh, we don't have to worry about the kids. They'll be all right in the nursery. Come on, Lydia. We deserve a night out.
And in the nursery, the walls were a kaleidoscope of time and space and imagination. The green forest of Sherwood and quiet forms of Robin and his merry men gave way to the roll of the high seas and the smell of salt in the air as Sir Henry Morgan sailed into the harbor at Jamaica.
It's my turn now, Peter. You've got to be fair. It's my turn.
Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz followed the yellow brick road round the nursery walls. Then Hansel and Gretel discovered the gingerbread house about 3 feet from the door. And from a high tower that stretched into the clouds, the little lame prince sailed out over his kingdom. And behind the crystal and quartz walls, the vacuum tubes and grids and banks of mental image tape spun quietly and efficiently, erasing the line between illusion and reality. Of course, the electric bill from Consolidated Utilities was tremendous, but it was worth it. The house went on. The stove hummed happily in the kitchen, making breakfast, dinner, and supper for 4, turning the eggs over lightly and producing popovers electronically calculated by capacity to a 30-volt current and specific gravity. The automatic laundry did the shirts with a medium starch in the collars, except the button-down Oxfords, which had no starch at all. The Happy Life home breathed contentedly as life proceeded with soft automaticity as guaranteed in the brochure and bill of sale.
George.
Huh?
George, I wish you'd look at the nursery.
Well, what's wrong with this?
Well, I don't know.
Well, that might...
I just want you to look at it, that's all. Or call a psychologist to look at it.
What would a psychologist want with a nursery?
Oh, now, George, you know very well what he'd want.
I was in the nursery last week. It's perfectly all right.
Well, it's different now.
Huh? What do you mean, different?
Well, I just want you to come and see.
Are the kids there?
No, Madge Allen took them to a show along with her kids. That's why I want you to look in now before they get back.
All right. What you expect me to do, I don't know. I'm no mechanic.
This isn't a question of a leaky faucet, George.
All right, dear. I'm coming.
The nursery light flicked on as they came down the hall. The relays clicked, and the tubes warmed, and chemical odor banks and pipes bubbled into life. as they paused before the closed door.
Go ahead, George. Open it.
On all sides, in 3 dimensions, stretched the hot, tired landscape of an African veldt, reproduced to the last stick and pebble and bit of straw. The ceiling above them became a sky with a hot, yellow sun. A wind blew in from the baked veldtland. The hot straw smell of lion grass. The cool, green smell of the hidden waterhole. The great, rusty smell of animals. The smell of dust like red paprika on the hot air. And now the sounds. The howl of the jackal in the distance. The thump of distant antelope feet on grassy sod. And the papery rustling of the great vultures that wheeled and circled under the yellow, burning sun.
Oh, let's get out of this sun. It's a little too real.
Oh, no, George. You promised you'd look around.
Well, I don't see anything.
Now, wait a minute. Look. There are the vultures.
Filthy creatures.
And there are the lions. Far over that way.
Yes, I see them.
They're on their way to the water hole. They've just eaten.
Eaten?
Yes, I can't see what.
Sun's too strong.
Well, shade your eyes.
Some animal. A zebra or a baby giraffe, maybe.
Can you see it? Are you sure?
It's a little too late to be sure. Nothing over there but clean bone. Vultures dropping for what's left.
George, did you hear that scream?
What scream?
Just now.
Sorry, hon, no.
Here come the lions. George, they're frightening.
Take it easy, Lydia. They're just illusions.
It was a miracle of mechanical efficiency. The lions prowling toward them over the tawny veldtland. A miracle of inventive genius. Every house should have one. The lions were 15 feet away. So real, so startlingly real, you could feel the prickling fur on your hand. Your mouth was stuffed with the dusty upholstery smell of their heated pelts. The yellow of them was in your eyes, like the yellow of an exquisite tapestry. The yellows of lions and summer grass. The sound of the matted lion lungs exhaling on the silent noontide. And the smell of meat from the panting, dripping mouths.
George, I'm afraid. They're so real.
They're only an illusion, Lydia, that's all.
Watch out!
Oh, quick, outside.
Oh, George.
Lydia, my poor, sweet Lydia.
George, they almost got us.
No. Take it easy. Calm down.
Yes, but I could feel their breath.
No. Get a hold of yourself, Lydia. They aren't real. Walls, that's all it is. Crystalloid walls.
But they look so real.
Yes, darling. Of course they do. But it's all dimensional color reactionary process and mental tape film behind glass screens. It's all odorophonics and sonics. Now, here, take my handkerchief.
I'm afraid, George. Did you see? Did you feel? It's too real.
No, Lydia.
We've got to tell Wendy and Peter not to read any more on Africa.
Yes, of course, dear.
Do you promise?
Sure.
And lock the nursery for a few days.
Oh, now, wait a minute, dear. Let's keep our sense of proportion.
George, I want you to lock that place up.
Honey, you know how difficult Peter is about that. I punished him last week by locking the nursery for an afternoon, and he threw a tantrum, and Wendy, too. Honey, they live for the nursery.
I tell you, it's got to be locked. That's all there is to it.
Lydia, you need a rest.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to do. I have too much time to think. All I do is set the menu selector dials at the beginning of the week.
But, honey, that's the whole idea. The house is automatic.
I know. But couldn't we turn it off for a couple of weeks? Just a couple of weeks and take a vacation.
You mean that you want to fry eggs for me?
Yes, I do. And darn socks, too. I feel like I don't belong here. The house is wife and mother and maid. How can I compete with the African veldt? And you, George. You don't know what to do with yourself in the house when you're home. You're drinking too much.
Am I?
You feel useless, too.
Yes, I suppose I do.
George. Those lions can't get out of there, can they?
Oh, of course not, dear. Now, don't think about it anymore.
sat idly watching the dining room table produce warm dishes of food from its mechanical interior.
You forgot the ketchup. That's better.
It wouldn't hurt to lock the children out of the nursery for a while. It was clear that they'd been spending too much time in Africa. Oh, that sun. He could still feel it on his neck like a hot paw. And the lions, the smell of blood. Remarkable how the nursery caught the telepathic emanations of the children's minds and created a life to fulfill their desires. The children thought zebras, and there were zebras. Sun, sun. Death, and death. They were so young. But long before you knew what death was, you were wishing it on someone else. But this, the long, hot African veldt, the awful death in the jaws of a lion, and repeated again and again and again. The children came home dutifully at 8:30.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop. Hi, Peter. You want something to eat, Wendy?
No, thanks.
Well, we're just having dessert.
We're full of strawberry ice cream. And hot dogs. We'll just sit and watch.
Sure. Peter, tell us about the nursery.
Nursery?
Yes, all about Africa and everything.
I don't understand.
Your mother and I were just traveling through Africa with rod and reel.
There's no Africa in the nursery.
Oh, come now, Peter. We know better.
I don't remember any Africa. Do you, Wen? Run and see, huh? Sure. I'll be right back.
Wendy, come back here. Wendy.
She'll be right back, Pop.
She doesn't have to. I've seen it. Now, come on.
Sure, Pop. Wendy will tell us, though.
Could they be lying?
We'll see in just a moment. Peter, open the door.
See, Daddy? It's not Africa. It's Florida. Like in the yearling. There go the deer, see? It isn't Africa.
Yes, I see it isn't. Go to bed.
But it isn't 9 o'clock. No, it isn't.
You heard me. Go to bed.
Okay. Night, Mom. Night, Pop. Good night.
Good night, dears. I'll be right in.
Lydia, wait a minute. Here, look at this.
What is it?
This is the corner where the lions were, isn't it?
What's that you picked up?
It's an old wallet of mine. There's a smell of hot grass on it. The smell of a lion. It's wet with saliva. And it's been chewed.
George, those smears of blood.
Come on out. Now, let's go to bed.
So they went to bed. But in the middle of the night, Lydia was still awake, and she knew her husband was awake.
George?
Hmm?
How did your wallet get in the nursery?
I don't know. Wendy must have changed the walls from the African veldt. Honey, I'm going to keep it locked. Maybe it isn't good for the children.
It's supposed to help them work off their neuroses in a harmless way.
I'm starting to wonder.
We've given the children everything they wanted.
My father used to say children are like carpets. They should be stepped on occasionally. We've never lifted a hand. They're spoiled.
And we're spoiled.
I think I'll have Dr. McLean come tomorrow morning and have a look at Africa.
Yes, only it isn't Africa now. It's Florida and the yearling.
I have a feeling it'll be Africa again before then.
George, Wendy and Peter aren't in their room.
No. They've broken into the nursery.
Those screams. They sounded familiar.
Did they?
Yes, awfully. Oh, George.
Although their automatic somno beds tried very hard, the two adults couldn't be rocked to sleep for another hour. A smell of cats was in the night air. And in the morning, The stove cooked French toast, and the dining room table poured the syrup and melted butter.
Pop,
Yes?
you aren't going to lock up the nursery for good, are you?
That all depends.
On what?
On you and your sister?
We feel that you should have some variety, dear.
If you intersperse this Africa with a little Sweden or China.
I thought we were free to play the way we like.
Well, you are within reasonable bounds.
Well, what's wrong with Africa, Daddy?
Oh, so now you admit you've been thinking up Africa, hmm?
I wouldn't want the nursery locked up ever.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're thinking of turning the whole house off for about a month. Sort of camping out.
You mean I'd have to tie my own shoes instead of having my shoe tire do it? And brush my own teeth and comb my own hair and give myself a bath?
Well, Wendy, it would be fun for a change, don't you think, dear?
No, it'd be awful.
I didn't like it when you took out the picture painter last month.
Well, that's because I wanted you to learn to paint by yourself.
I don't want to do anything but look and listen and smell. What else is there to do?
Oh, all right. All right, go play in Africa.
Are you going to shut off the house?
We're considering it.
I don't think you better consider it anymore, Pop.
I won't have any threats from you, son.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Wendy. Let's get back.
After breakfast, Dr. David McLean was announced by the audio knocker. And the dining room table, recognizing him as an old friend, poured an extra cup of coffee, light with 4 lumps.
I saw the nursery last year, George. It looked all right to me. You didn't notice anything unusual?
No. The pattern showed the usual violence, a tendency towards slight paranoia. All children feel persecuted by their parents. Perfectly normal.
I locked the nursery and they broke into it last night. I let them stay so they could form the patterns for you to see. There it is.
Well, suppose we take a look at it right now.
They entered without knocking and sent the children out. The screams had faded, and the lions were feeding quietly under the trees.
Wish I could see what they're eating. Do you suppose some high-powered binoculars would...
Hardly, no. How long has this been going on?
A little over a month. It certainly doesn't feel good. I don't want feelings. I want fact. George, a psychologist, never saw a fact in his life. He knows about feelings, and this doesn't feel good. My advice to you is to have the whole room torn down and your children brought to me every day for the next year for treatment.
Is it that bad?
I'm afraid so. You know, that's why the nursery was developed originally. To let us examine the patterns left on the wall by a child's mind. But what is it? What's wrong with Peter and Wendy? Well, it's hard to say. I haven't punished them more than average. Though I took away a few gadgets. Last week I locked the nursery to show I meant business. George, you've let this room replace you and your wife and your children's affections. This room is their real father and mother. And now you come along and want to shut it. You can feel the hatred coming out of that sky. George, turn everything off. The nursery, the automatic kitchen, the whole confounded automatic house. Start now. But won't the shock be too much for the children? I don't want them going any deeper. Let's get out of here. I never liked these rooms. Get me nervous. Those lions look real, don't they? I don't suppose there's any way that... What? That they could become real.
Certainly not.
Some flaw in the machinery, tamper.
No.
I don't imagine the room will like being turned on. Nothing ever likes to die. Even a room. I wonder if it hates me for turning it on. Paranoia is thick today. Hello. Is this your scarf? It's stained. Brown. Say, that's blood. That's Lydia's. Come on, the main fuse box is out here. Go ahead. Pull the switch. Yeah. It's off.
The two children were in hysterics. They screamed and kicked and threw things. They yelled and sobbed and swore and jumped on the furniture, weeping.
It's off and it stays off. The whole house dies as of now. The more I see of the mess we put ourselves in, the more it sickens me. We've been contemplating our electrical, mechanical navels for too long. We need air. Fresh, unfiltered, unconditioned air.
He marched around the house, cutting switches and pulling fuses. The stove was disconnected with a roast lamb in the oven and a flapjack still in the air. The heaters, the shoe shiners, the shoelacers, the body scrubbers and swabbers and massagers. He pulled the plugs and shorted out the controls, one after the other. The house became full of electronic corpses. It was a mechanical cemetery, so silent. None of the humming, hidden energy of the machines waiting to function at the tap of a button. And by the still dining room table, its radionic insides dead and currentless, Peter wailed at the house.
Don't let them do it. Don't let Pop kill everything. I hate you, Bob. I hate you.
Peter, please.
Insults won't get you anywhere.
I wish you were dead.
We were for a long while. Now we're going to start really living.
Once more, Daddy. Just once more.
Oh, Wendy,
one
honey.
minute of the nursery. That's all. Just one more
Oh,
minute.
George. George, it can't hurt, really.
So, all right. Only shut up. 1 minute. And that's the end. Forever.
Gee, thanks, Pop. Thanks.
Then we're going on a vacation. Dr. McLean is coming in a half hour to help us out. Lydia, turn on the nursery.
Now, remember, kids, it'll be just for 1 minute.
Oh, boy. Come on, Wendy. Come on. Oh, thanks, Daddy. Thanks a lot.
Just 1 minute, remember. Oh, where'd I put those suitcases? Lydia!
Don't shout, George. I'm right here.
Oh, did you leave them alone in the nursery?
Well, I've got to get ready, George. Oh, that awful Africa. What can they see in it?
Well, in an hour, we'll be on our way to Iowa. What prompted us to buy a nightmare like that?
Pride, I guess. We had the money and we were foolish.
I guess we'd better get them out of there before they get involved with those beasts again. Come on, quick.
Wendy, Peter, what's the matter?
Hurry up. Open the nursery. Wendy. Peter.
Well, they aren't anywhere. Wendy! Peter!
Peter! The door. Open the door. They've locked it from the outside. Peter! Peter, open up! Peter!
Don't let them turn off the nursery.
Now, don't get ridiculous, children. It's time to go.
Wendy, open the door, dear.
Let us out. Peter, open the door. Time to go. Open the door.
George, the lions.
Peter, do you hear me? Open this door.
They're all around us. George!
Son, do you hear me? Let us out.
George, look out! They're coming!
When Dr. David McLean came a half hour later, he found the two children in the nursery sitting in the center of the open glade, eating a picnic lunch. Beyond them was the water hole in the yellow Veldt land. Above was the hot sun. Dr. McLean saw at a distance the lions fighting and clawing, and then settling down to feed in silence under the shady trees.
Hi, kids. Where are your mom and dad?
Oh, they'll be here directly.
Good. We've got to get going.
He squinted at the lions with his hands up to his eyes. Now they were done feeding. They moved to the water hole to drink. A shadow flickered as the vultures dropped down from the blazing sky to finish what the lions had left.
Dr. McLean. Dr. McLean?
Huh? What?
Have a cup of tea?
future, the world of
Dimension X.
How soon we actually build a spaceship to conquer the stars depends upon many factors, not the least of which is a man, the overwhelming desire to create such a ship, and the power to have it done. Next week, we tell the story of such a man as Dimension X brings you Nelson Bond's The Vital Factor.
Dimension X is presented transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented The Veldt, written for radio by Ernest Kenoy from Ray Bradbury's The Illustrated Man. Included in the cast were Leslie Woods and Bill Quinn as the parents, Joan Laser and David Anderson as the children. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
And now, on to our next story.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense.
Dimension X.
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of Astounding Science Fiction, bring you Dimension X. 20 years had passed since the last of the giant migration ships had crashed to the surface of Mars, bearing its pitiful handful of survivors of the Earth Wars. 20 years of scratching of the stubborn Martian soil. 20 years of trying to devise new solar engines that would use the strange fuel they found on Mars. 20 years of longing, of turning eyes toward the green Earth as it hung on the horizon like a beckoning light. And now it was done. And the first new ship, built of shining Martian chromaton, had lifted bravely toward home with 3 men locked in its metal belly. Would they return to an Earth made barren by cosmic dust, to a blackened radioactive hell? Or would they find intelligence still alive on the scourged planet? What had 20 years of death and radioactivity done to our beloved Earth?
That's it, Captain. We've intersected the course vector.
Williams.
Yes, sir.
Prepare for deceleration.
Forward piston ready, Captain.
Read us off, Evans.
We'll enter the gravitational field of the Earth in exactly 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Fire 2 and 4.
1, 2 and 4.
What's our momentum, Evans?
-3.
Fire 1.
1. -4 now.
Steady as she goes. How are we?
On parabola now. If we can hold, we should breach the heaviside layer somewhere north of what used to be Murmansk.
Let's have a look at her. Visor, please.
Yes, sir. Mother Earth.
20 years. We're going home, Evans. We're going home.
Home to what, Captain? Home to a burned-out radioactive planet that is incapable of supporting human life?
Evans and I don't agree with that, Williams. We think the Earth is ready for us again. That should give us another chance.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I was born and brought up on Mars under the new central government. We younger men disagree with you about migrating back to Earth. For us, Mars is home.
Well, we'll see.
If there is some form of life on Earth, we'll find out soon enough.
Williams, head for New York.
Captain, you can barely see the top of the Atomic Trades building in the twilight. They never finished building it.
Dark as a tomb. Slow to cruising speed.
Cruising speed. It begins to look as if Williams is right, Captain. Not a sign of life on 4 continents.
We'll make a radiation check and then head back for Mars.
You agree with me, gentlemen? That for all practical purposes, the planet is dead?
It's still my Captain. What is it?
Am I going out of my mind? Look out that way to the west. Could that be?
By heaven, it is. Those are lights. Turn the ship.
Heading west, southwest. Full speed. Full speed. They are lights. Captain, it's a city, a whole blasted city lit up like a Christmas tree. Well, what do you think of your dead planet now, Williams?
We shall see, Evans. Remember, the Commission wants evidence of life as we know it.
Decelerate to negative 5. We're going to take her down. There's an open area just on the edge of the city.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, gentlemen. We're about to land.
Landing jacks are down, sir.
Open the airlock. Close. All right, gentlemen. Before we go out, security at all times. Williams, you have the blast gun?
I have it.
If anyone becomes separated, fire a shot and make for the ship. How's the radiation ends?
Safe enough so far. This seems to be a light area.
Very well. Open the lock. Must be someone. How do you explain the light?
I don't know.
Municipal building. Shall we have a look here, sir? Possibly the records might contain some clue.
Good idea. Keep your weapons ready. This door is in good working order. Almost as if it had been oiled recently. Long corridor. Lights blazing in every office. William, stand to watch you in the corridor. Fire a blast if you need us.
Yes, sir.
Evans, you come with me. We'll stop right here with the city clerk's office. Better check radiation again.
Not enough to do any damage.
Gives me the creeps, doesn't it? Look at this desk. Papers crumpled. Inkstand. Just as if somebody came in and worked here every day. Calendar. June 18th, 1987.
Why, that's the day of the evacuation. The dust cloud had already blanketed New York and was heading west.
Dog license. Hunting permits.
Somehow I have a peculiar feeling that... Good Lord.
Pick it up, Evans.
Hello? No answer. Hello? I hear something. A scratching sort of noise.
Good day, Doctor.
What?
How are you? I called to ask some advice about a trepanning problem. Can you tell me if the lateral cut should be made first?
Hello? Hello? This is absolutely
Thank
insane.
you,
Hello?
Doctor. I'll do that. By the way, how is your wife, Alice? And the girls? And your son, John? Fine boy, John. I'll call again tomorrow. Goodbye, Doctor.
Hello? Hello? It's gone dead.
Who was it?
I don't know. A strange voice carried on a conversation about some surgical operation without paying the slightest attention to anything I said. Captain, the lights are out.
Good Lord.
Captain! Captain!
I have a torch. Come on. Williams, what is it?
I don't know.
You fired a shot.
Yes, sir. Just as the lights went out, I'm sure I saw a figure. It looked like an old man in a white robe. It moved across the end of the corridor down that way.
Flash your torch down there, Evans. Nothing there. Are you certain, Williams?
I'm not certain. The lights, they're on again.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Wait.
What?
Listen. Quietly. Someone is coming, walking slowly toward the corridor.
We're coming closer. Cover him when he turns the corner.
It'll be a pleasure.
Don't fire unless I give the word.
What? Jumping Jupiter.
Are you... Is it really someone, or am I having hallucinations?
We are no vision.
No. No, you seem to be real. I saw the ship come down. I thought perhaps I was losing my mind. It's been so many years.
I'm Captain John Parsons. These are my assistants, Dr. Evans and Mr. Williams. We've returned to Earth from Mars.
Then It's happened. We're not alone anymore. Forgive me, gentlemen. I seem moved. I waited and hoped for so long.
You survived the radiation?
We did.
There are others?
My family were the only ones.
I answered the phone a moment ago. Who was it?
You heard my voice, Doctor.
Your voice?
To break the loneliness, I've recorded my voice and rigged up an automatic telephone. It's pleasant to hear the phone ring. I come here to do my work.
I take it you're a medical man.
My name is Cornelius Hathaway.
Hathaway? Hathaway, the brain surgeon?
You know my name.
Who doesn't? I watched you on television at college. I saw you 23 years ago. You performed a difficult surgery for a cerebral tumor. Marvelous.
Thank you. I'd almost forgotten. My mind, you see, I'm almost 80 now.
You look fine, sir.
Well, we've had the best of everything. An entire city to choose from. Cold storage, the best equipment. Oh, but come, when I saw your ship, I told Alice, my wife, you know, to prepare a feast. This is a great day for me, gentlemen. A great, great day. This is my wife, gentlemen. Alice, this is Captain Parsons, Dr. Evans, and Mr. Williams.
How do you do, Mrs. Hathaway?
Now, if you'll follow me, gentlemen, we'll meet my children.
Lord, what a beautiful woman.
She looks no more than 35.
These are my daughters, Susan and Marguerite. This is my son, John.
Oh, nice.
Well, sit down, gentlemen. Sit down. We'll have a feast in honor of this occasion. Susan, Marguerite, get the best silverware and the damask napkins. John, fetch the glasses.
Oh, yes, Father. It'll only take...
Excuse me, John.
Sir?
How old are you?
23, sir.
Thank you.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
What is it, Captain? Something wrong?
Nothing except that it's impossible. You see, Dr. Hathaway's son was already in college when I started. That would make him at least 45. That was a wonderful meal, Mrs. Hathaway. Doctor, your wife is an exceptional woman.
Thank you, sir.
How would you gentlemen like some fresh gingerbread with your coffee? I baked it this morning.
Oh, wonderful. Smell that, Evans?
Oh, it's like coming home, Mrs. Hathaway.
We enjoy having you here.
Mrs. Hathaway, may I compliment you on your having preserved your youth and beauty so well?
Thank you. We have had no worries here, no competition. Only the things we need for material comfort.
Parsons and I were wondering, Dr. Hathaway, if the radioactivity had any effect in preserving tissue. Your children all look so young, too.
It is possible, gentlemen, of course. Radiation does strange things to living tissue. Alice, could we have some champagne?
Of course. I'll only be a moment.
An amazing woman. Did you ever see such grace? Such complete relaxation.
It doesn't seem quite natural.
I beg your pardon, gentlemen?
Captain Parsons was just about to ask how you and your family managed to escape, Dr. Hathaway.
We were very fortunate. I was working in the Sierra Mountains at the time. I had a lead-lined laboratory where I did X-ray research on my pet project.
And what is that, sir?
The study of machines as they relate to human function and the corollary of... Well, to continue, when the dust cloud covered America, we remained in the laboratory, well supplied with food and water. Later, when the radiation permitted, we made our way east, back to our old home, in the hopes of finding other survivors. But by that time, every living creature had been evacuated to Mars. We were stranded. The migration ships didn't wait for stragglers.
That's true. My father and I were on the last rocket out of New York.
I've always loved this old house. But the loneliness of those first years...
At least you had your wife and children.
Yes. Yes, I had my family. If it were not for them, gentlemen, I assure you I would long ago have put a bullet in my head.
Here we are. Champagne, Captain?
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Hathaway. May I propose a toast?
Oh, let me. Gentlemen, to Earth.
To Earth.
Earth. May she never be a stranger to man again.
Hathaway, what is it?
Nothing really. It's just a rather sharp pain in the chest.
I think you should lie down, Doctor.
Yes.
Perhaps you're right.
Let me help you.
No. John and Susan will help.
Of course, Father.
Why don't you gentlemen go out on the porch, enjoy the air? I'll see you all in the morning.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night. Come, John.
Yes, Father. Well, what do you think of old Mother Earth now, Williams? Smell that summer breeze. Look at that view of the city lighted up against the sky.
It has a certain quality. Well, score 1 point for the back-to-earth proposal. I didn't say that.
You're beginning to feel it, though, Williams. I can tell.
If you don't mind, gentlemen, I'm quite tired. I think I'll turn in. Excuse me. Well, Captain?
Well, what?
What do you make of all this?
I don't know what you mean.
This Hathaway and his family. There's something strange and unnatural going on here. I can sense it.
I think you're reading things into it, Evans.
So, perhaps. Well, I'll turn in too. Are you coming?
In a moment, I want to smoke a cigarette.
Beautiful view.
What?
Is it not?
I didn't hear you come out. How is he?
Resting. I've never seen him this bad.
Yes, he's an old man. I'm sorry, but the difference in your ages is so apparent. You must have been married very young.
My husband is a very great man, Captain. It's too bad there was no one to appreciate him. Once, he wired the whole city with sound speakers, and when he pressed a button, the whole town lit up and made noises, as if 10,000 people were living in it.
He must have been very lonesome for people. Although with a woman such as you, I don't understand.
Perhaps one day you will understand. Good night, Captain.
Good night, Mrs. Hathaway.
Captain Parsons.
Who's there?
It's Dr. Evans.
What time is it?
2 a.m.
What's wrong?
I couldn't sleep. A few minutes ago, I heard someone slip out the front door. The moonlight, I saw it was the old man. He was headed toward our ship.
What are you suggesting, Evans?
Nothing, except that it's fairly unnatural for an old man with a bad heart to go wandering off at 2 in the morning.
Very well. We'll follow him. See him yet?
No.
Look, ahead there on the hillside. Isn't that Hathaway kneeling in the moonlight?
Yes, I think so. Can we get closer?
Let's head for that clump of bushes. This is far enough.
What do you suppose he's doing there? What are those things on the ground?
Good Lord. Those are grave markers. 4 of them.
You're right. Seems to be praying over them.
Listen.
Do you forgive me for what I've done? I had to do it. I was so terribly lonely. You do forgive me, don't you? Yes, I feel you do. I'm glad. I think perhaps I can rest now. I think
He's having another attack. Come on. Hathaway! Dr. Hathaway. Raise his head, Evans.
His lips are moving.
What is it, Doctor?
Lean closer. I'm sorry I had to spoil all of this. I've expected it for some time.
We'll fix you up.
No, this is the end for me. It really doesn't matter. Except for them.
What about them, Hathaway?
You suspected, didn't you?
Yes, I suspected, but I couldn't believe it until now. Do they know?
No, they wouldn't understand. I wouldn't want them to know, ever. The
Don't try to talk.
The earth is so fair.
Doctor. He's dead, Captain. He knew it was the end this time.
Yes, he knew.
What was it he meant about your suspecting?
Light a match, Evans. Look on those 4 grave markers and tell me what you see.
Good Lord.
Well?
Alice Hathaway, Marguerite Hathaway, Susan Hathaway, John Hathaway. Died July 1987. But that's 20 years ago. If these markers are correct, then who are those others?
Can't you guess, Evans? Can't you guess? Mrs. Hathaway, are you awake?
Yes, Captain?
May I come in?
Yes. It's about my husband, isn't it?
You knew.
I saw him go out tonight. He felt it was near the end.
He died less than an hour ago. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
He told us it would happen one day, and that he didn't want us to cry. He didn't teach us how, you know. He said it was the worst thing that could happen to know how to be lonely and unhappy. What will happen to us now that he's gone?
I don't know.
Will you stay with us?
I would like to, but I cannot.
You'll know about it.
Yes, I know. I didn't think that you knew yourself.
The children don't. I've been aware for a long while.
No one would have guessed. You're so perfect.
Oh, he would have liked to hear you say that. He was so very proud of us. After a while, he came to love us, and at the end, he took us as his real wife and children. He even forgot sometimes that he had made us.
You gave him a great deal of comfort.
Yes. Over the years, we sat and talked. He loved so much to talk. I was first, you know. Then he became lonesome for the children, and so he made them. He told me about the things he did, about his laboratory.
Surely the children must suspect.
Oh, no. You see, there were no other beings with which to compare themselves.
He must have been a great, great genius.
Each morning he took a recording of his voice into town and put it on the automatic telephone. Each night it would call us. I think, what with the phone ringing and the sound of voices and the lights on, he was happy. There was only one thing, one flaw.
And that?
He couldn't make us grow old. And so he had to watch himself become an old, old man while we stayed young. It was a great blow to him.
And so we commend the body of this man, Cornelius Hathaway, to his Maker. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust returneth. Amen.
Come, John.
Yes, Mother.
Susan? Marguerite?
Evans, Williams, stay here a moment, please.
What is it?
Let them go back to the house. I want to speak to you.
I know what you're going to tell us, Captain. I saw the names on the grave markers.
Well?
It's a mockery. A blasphemy of everything we believe in. For a man to do something so evil.
Can't you imagine what he faced? Can't you imagine what it must have been like to have watched his wife and children die slowly of radiation burns? To know that he was the last man on the face of the earth? Alone? Eternally and unalterably alone? Good Lord, man, what would you have done if you had had his medical, technical genius?
That's incredible.
Yes, it is. But with an entire American city on which to draw for supplies and equipment, a brilliant man might accomplish anything, even that.
What are you suggesting, Captain? That we take them back?
We haven't enough space in the ship for that. Every ounce counts. Still, to leave them here, like that, alone,
I think I have an answer, cold-blooded as it may seem.
Go on.
I suggest that we turn them off.
Do you think that I could do that?
No, but I could. After all, they aren't human. They're worse than robots. They're ghoulish.
Have you talked to her? Has she smiled at you with that quiet, beautiful smile?
Captain, we can't take them with us, and it would be less than human to leave them here without Hathaway.
Could you do it, Evans?
Give me the blast gun, Williams.
We'll wait on the ship. Take off in half an hour.
Half an hour. 6:25. He should be back soon.
Yes.
He's doing the only humane thing, Captain. They are less than human.
Are they?
Well, it's done now, and no one will ever... That's the airlock. He's back.
Well?
Here's your gun.
Did you do it?
When I entered the house, she looked at me with those fine, intelligent eyes. I couldn't do it. It would be murder, cold-blooded murder.
I prayed you wouldn't be able to do it. There will never be anything as fine as they are. Built to last 200, 300, perhaps 1,000 years. Well, get the course of the integrator, Williams. We'll take off in 20 minutes. I should be back by then.
You're going out, sir?
I'm going to say goodbye.
You've come back.
Only to say goodbye.
It was nice of you.
I wanted you to know that I am coming back someday.
When will you come?
I don't know. It will take many years to prepare fuel for another trip. 6, 7, perhaps 10 years.
I will watch the sky at night, just as he watched it.
Oh, I'm afraid I must go now.
I understand. Strange. I have a new feeling. One which he did not teach us. A feeling of longing, of sadness.
That one is not taught. It comes of being alive.
Yes. I am alive. Even though he created me, I'm a person now.
Goodbye, Alice Hathaway.
Goodbye, John Parsons.
Just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension X.
When the time comes for man to explore the universe, to deal with the strange inhabitants of other worlds, there will be much to remember. Perhaps the most important lesson of all will seem too fundamental to be included in the training manuals. Listen at this time next week as Dimension X brings you a story from the pages of the August Astounding Science Fiction. A story called Courtesy.
Dimension X is presented each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented Dwellers in Silence, written for radio by George Lefferts from the story by Ray Bradbury. Featured in the cast were Peter Capell as Captain Parsons, Bill Griffiths as Dr. Hathaway, and Gertrude Warner as Alice. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.